Apple has just dropped Xcode 26.3, and the headline feature here is major shift in how we interact with this IDE. They are unlocking agentic coding capabilities directly within the environment. So this isn't just autocomplete, it's allowing developers to leverage coding agents to handle more complex workflows without leaving the editor. So if you have been juggling external AI tools, having this baked into Apple's native toolchain is going to streamline a lot of iOS and macOS development. So I've been having to do this in Claude, of course, and Android Studio has the same problem. It's just chat, not agentic currently, but this is nice. So I'm gonna try this out. Security alert for mobile developers. So hackers are actively exploiting the critical vulnerability in React Native Metro server. So the exploit allows hackers to breach developer systems and is affecting both Windows and Linux environments. Since Metro is the bundler that runs locally during development, it's a direct hit on the engineering workstation itself, something we've seen this week. If you're running React Native, check your Metro version immediately and lock down your local dev ports. The open weights model race continues with the release of Qwen Coder next. This is the latest iteration in the Qwen coding series. The previous versions were punching above their weight class that we discussed previously in the code generation benchmarks. So this next iteration suggests even further refinements in logic and syntax handling. For teams running local LLMs for code completions or factoring, this is a model you want to pull and test against on your current setup. These numbers are pretty nice. In more Alibaba news, they updated the AliSQL. So this is the open source branch of MySQL, and the architecture is getting pretty interesting. Um, so they integrated both vector engines and DuckDB engines directly into the database. This effectively turns a standard relational database into hybrid analytical and AI-ready store without needing separate ETL pipeline. Bringing DuckDB columnar analytical power inside MySQL process is a massive win for performance on heavy queries. So this is going back to the Notepad++ attack that we saw yesterday. So SecureList has published a technical breakdown for supply chain attack targeting Notepad++. This isn't just a random malware hit, as we discussed yesterday. It's specific compromise with that distribution chain of this very popular text editor. So in this report, they actually detail exactly how the attack was staged, and as we discussed yesterday, because it's so ubiquitous in IT toolkits, it's a good reminder to verify signatures and maybe audit the utilities you're pulling, audit your utilities and how you're pulling the updates. So if your Git hooks are slowing you down, check out this tool called Prek. So it's a new drop-in replacement for the standard pre-commit tool, but it is engineered entirely in Rust. The main selling point here is speed. It aims for significantly faster than Python-based original while maintaining compatibility. So for larger repos where pre-commit hooks are seconds or minutes to every commit, this high performance REST binary could smooth out the daily dev loops considerably. In the world of ML optimization, um, a new paper just dropped, FlashAttention-T towards tensorized attention. So we've seen how flash attention revolutionized transformer efficiency, and this tensorized approach looks to be the next stage in this lineage. So by further optimizing the attention mechanism, likely through better tensor decomposition or memory access patterns, this research aims to squeeze even more performance out of existing hardware for training large models. If you're interested in distributed systems, take a look at this Minikv. So it's a distributed key value and object store written in Rust that implements the Raft consensus algorithm and exposes S3 compatible API. It's a great example of modern systems programming, combining memory safety with complex distributed consensus logic. It serves as both a practical tool and a study how to build resilient storage systems from the ground up. Yeah, might not be replacing production yet, but it's interesting to see complex algorithms like Rust, Raft written in Rust. So, more hardware news. So, IE Spectrum is reporting a breakthrough 3D printed batteries. So, we mentioned something like this previously. The technology allows battery material to be printed into virtually any shape, putting power into the nooks and crannies of a device that usually go unused. So, the this breaks the constant constraint that when you design gadgets around the rectangular lithium bricks, like in your phone. So for wearables or oddly shaped IoT devices, this could significantly um, higher energy density without increasing device's overall footprint. So you're gonna have your devices wrapped in batteries. That's pretty funny. And finally, for the bit of extreme optimization, check this out. Floppinux 2025 edition. It's an embedded Linux system squeezed entirely onto a single floppy disk, and in an era of gigabyte-sized containers, there is something satisfying about seeing the functional OS kernel and user space fit in 1.44 megabytes. It's a fantastic case study in stripping Linux down to an absolute bare essentials and understanding what is actually required to boot the system. This is how Linux started, by the way. There was severe limit on the size of kernel originally. Not that limit, slightly higher, but it was megabytes. So that's cool that they're going back to this. Interesting. See you next time.